Hi.
Look at my ramen socks.
We're back.
These are the shrimp ones, in case you're wondering.
Oh.
They each have different flavors.
That's so cute. Today we're doing our top best and worst books of the year.
This is inspired by
Just Allie, yeah.
Yeah, just Allie. But instead we're gonna do 12 each, so it adds up to 24.
Yeah,
and Marissa's doing 6 and 6, and I'm doing 7 and 5 because I'm a cheater.
Yes, and also because like we cannot do our top 24 because that would be like almost all the books.
Yeah. Overall book stats. How many did you read this year?
35.
Marissa?
I reached my goal.
My goal is bad. So I'm reading my 40th book right now.
I think it's a 40, so that's good.
Yeah.
You almost got a special guest
We have a
star.
kind of visitor. Oh.
Here he is.
Crazy. What are you doing, tapeworm Joe?
Why does his face look like that?
Okay, bye, Joe.
Bye.
What did you read this year, Joe?
It's Joe. What did you read, Joe?
How to get tapeworm 101. Okay.
Okay, you can't be in the way, Jonas. Do you understand what we're doing? Jesus Christ.
Sorry, Marissa, you actually just out of the video. Don't slay down. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, keep going. Okay.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. My best, worst book. This is like kind of in order, but kind of not.
Okay.
Is Sally Rooney, Beautiful World, Where Are You? I gave this like 3 stars. I didn't really understand it. It was very like deep, kind of philosophical. It's really weird. It's like 2 best friends. One is like a rich author, and then she has this like weird date with this one guy, and they go to Italy together. The other friend is like low-key broken. She has this like kind of friends with benefit relationship with this other guy, and it's just like them emailing each other, and I really don't understand the emails. Like I'm not that smart to understand that, because they talk about like politics and stuff. I guess the like little love stories was okay. I don't know, not bad, but not my fave.
Understood. My best worst book is How to Survive Your Murder. I don't really like rate books low. So like all my worst books were like 3.5 or 3 stars. Like this one was 3.5, but it wasn't like a bad book. I was just scared because I like thought it was gonna be young adult, like it's marketed as, but it was like actually like really scary, and like I could not like listen to this book when I was like driving because I was like scared that like someone was gonna like appear. I would like get into an accident or something. So it was just very like scary, and I'm still on no like mystery thriller book. Like I don't want to read any of them. So, and I read this around Halloween, so that's already been like 3 months ago. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated whenever I want to read one of these books again, but it was just scary, and they like killed off like everybody, which was so sad. Okay,
my next worst book, I guess, is Summer Sisters by Judy Blume. I thought
you got this for Christmas last year.
Yeah.
Did she write Judy Moody's?
Yeah. Judy Moody.
Judy Moody.
And not Bummer Summer is the movie.
Yeah.
But this book is just, I don't really remember it. I like rated it a 3.5, but now I just only remember the bad parts of it. It's about these 2 friends who like grow up together. One's like rich and spoiled, and the other one's like not. But like they go on like trips together, but they do like weird inappropriate things with each other and with guys.
Wait, what?
They're friends.
Oh.
They call each other like their summer sisters because they go to like the same vacation every summer. But like now it's current time, and the best friend's marrying like the other friend's like crush or like first boyfriend.
Dear Lord, this sounds messy.
Yeah, but like the thing is, I like don't remember it, and all I remember is the weird parts. I think I cried at the end because It was beautiful. Oh, also, yeah, there's like different point of views from like random characters. Like, I forgot who Abby is, but like I'll just say like Abby. Oh yeah, and the brother was weird. I don't know. Everyone in this book was weird. I don't know. Not my favorite.
Everyone was weird, basically. Okay, my next one I don't have because I listened to it, but is Love Light Farms. And again, not a bad book. I gave it 3.5 stars. I liked the Christmas vibes and like the small town vibes, but it was like friends to lovers, which I feel like isn't like my favorite. And also like the third act conflict was like the stupidest thing I've ever read about, and it was like because like they were friends, and so I feel like that's like where like the conflict like stemmed from. So I just like really like did not enjoy that at all. So I feel like it's not like my go-to like type of romance, but not bad. But if you like friends lovers, like you probably will like it. Besides the third act conflict, because it was really stupid, but just not like my favorite.
Okay, my next two least favorites I don't have with me. The first one is She's Gone. This is a mystery thriller book that Marissa and my mom actually picked out for me. So hashtag so sorry.
That's okay.
This was like a guy got in a car crash. No, he doesn't. There was a car crash.
Oh, was this what we picked out for you at Lake Geneva?
I think so. And this girl is technically she's missing. They don't know if she's like dead or not. From this car crash, like they knew the car crash happened, but I don't think. But in like the boyfriend is the suspect, obviously. So this book is like the boyfriend trying to like clear his name. I guess to solve the like mystery part, like the solving to it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't anything good.
Mm-hmm.
I think they like killed off some guy that I was like a fan of, so I was like, kind of rude. I don't know, it just wasn't that good.
I like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one is Confess by Colleen Hoover. After we saw It Ends With Us, like I really wanted to like read like another Colleen Hoover book, and I think this was the only one like on my shelf that I haven't read, so I read it, and like I thought it was gonna be more like artsy, and I thought I would like the plot more, and like there wasn't even really anything like about confessions. Like this, I feel like this what was supposed to be like the side plot like kind of like took over, and I did not like it at all. Like there was like really like a really like unlikable character in this book, and like they had some like weird like love triangle, but obviously like you're not rooting for the other guy because he's like terrible. But it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Like I thought it was going to be like a cute romance, and it would be like some like secrets or something, but it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So not my favorite from Colleen Hoover.
My next one I don't have with me, and this one was called Shotgun Love Songs. And actually, so yeah, funny story. I was walking around the town my school is in. It's like there's a little downtown area, and they were like handing out this book, like the library was, and I think it's because the town, it's like kind of inspired by the town I go to school in, or something like that, because it's set in a small town in Wisconsin.
Okay.
So, and I think the author is somewhat local or whatever, but this book is very much character driven, and I prefer like plots.
Yeah.
All I really remember is like it's a group of like guy friends, like older guy friends, in a small town in Wisconsin, and one of them, who's like the famous one, is like getting married, and there's like drama. I liked the like little love triangle that was in it. That was kind of fun when they were like beating each other up. I don't really remember it, but if you like dads in small towns, I don't know, it might be for you. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't bad, but just not my vibe.
Yeah. Okay, my third worst book, I have to forget that. Okay, it's the second book in the Summer I Turned Pretty series. It's my least favorite one in the series. It's called It's Not Summer Without You by Jenny Han. And like I actually liked the first and the third books, like in the series. This is like the second one was, now we're getting to like my 3 stars. Those other ones were 3.5. I think I would have liked it better maybe if I didn't watch the show first, but I just think the second season of the show was a lot better. Like the second season, or the second like book. I think what they added in the show was made it fun, and I feel like the vibes were better. Like the first book had like the summer vibes, and it really matched with like the first season, besides like a few like minor things. But I feel like in the second book, like they like changed a lot, and like the summer vibes weren't that good, and there was like a lot of like fighting, and just like it wasn't like the vibes that I wanted.
Like small town Wisconsin.
Yeah. Like it just wasn't like, I don't know, it just wasn't as good as like the other books or like the second like season of the show. So
okay, this is my worst book because I did 5 worst books and 7 best books because I only rated 7 books 5 stars and I couldn't like pick one.
yeah, I had 8 books that
guys,
were like 5 stars.
Who's surprised? Hooked is my least favorite book. If you didn't watch the video where me and Marissa pick out books for
You have
each
to watch
other's,
it.
she made me read this because she didn't realize it was a dark romance when she bought it. And
I'm never reading it.
I don't know, man. It's just a dark romance about Wendy and Captain Hook. What's his name? James. And he's like some mafia boss, and her dad is like connected
I'm so
to
sad
him
that it's
somehow.
dark romance. That makes me so sad.
This one was terrible. I mean, you want to vom. I guess the plot line, like I said in that video, was like kind of interesting, but it was just bad.
Overall, not it.
Hello, it's Mikayla on the 31st of December, and I just finished my 40th book of the year, Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey, and this is probably the worst book of the year, or second worst. I literally don't know. Hook low-key might be better than this. This book was just really bad. I'm so sorry, Miss Tessa, but it wasn't good.
Yeah. Okay. My 2 worst books, again, not bad, but we have The No-Show by Beth O'Leary. I was just genuinely confused, like, for 75% of this book, and I just don't think I like being confused. Like, it made me, like, not want to, like, read it, but I did think, like, I didn't guess the twist, obviously, because I was confused. And I think the twist was, like, good, and I think, like, the story was good and came together at the end, but again, like, I feel like this just wasn't what I expected. Like, I thought it was gonna be more like romancy, and like I read it around Valentine's Day, so I feel like I just wanted like a fun like romance, and again, like that was not what this was. So this was more like fiction-y and had weird mystery twists, so just like not what I was expecting, but like not a bad book. I was just confused.
And in the same video where I read Hooked, I also read that book, and it also wasn't my favorite. I think I rated it a little higher than Marissa, but it's still not my fave.
Yeah. And then my least favorite book, I'm so sad about this. I gave this a 3-star, but honestly, I feel like it might be like lower. Me and my cousin read it, and she gave it like a 2.5 stars. We both didn't like it. I feel like I just gave it a 3 stars because like it was fun like picking out the book together and like reading it together. But like I did not like the characters, which is so weird because like in Lynn Painter's books, like her other books, I love better than the movies. The Do-Over I didn't really like that much, but I liked the characters, you know? Like I liked them together. Like these characters, like I didn't really like them together. Like I didn't think they had good chemistry. They both kind of like swore off like love and like didn't really like want a relationship, so like their connection was just like weird. And like I wanted there more to be with I wanted there to be more with like the wedding objector plot. Like I thought that was like fun, and they literally objected like 2 weddings. Wow. So this was just not it for me, which is so sad because I do love Lynn Painter. This is not it for me.
So that was our least favorite books of the year. So if you guys see these books, maybe don't pick them up. But now we're gonna move on to our favorite books of the year, the best books of the year. And I'm gonna do 2 like Marissa just did, because these are both parts of series, I guess, that I kind of gave 5 stars, mainly just, you'll see. Okay, so speaking of Lynn Painter, nothing like the movies. This is the second book to my favorite book of all time. Better Than the Movies is my favorite book of all time.
Very good.
I don't care if you hate it, like you're wrong. This book, I know a lot of people didn't love as much because
it wasn't as good. Yeah.
It starts with them broken up, and
I have to read it.
he like she doesn't recognize him at first. This book is very West centered, which is great because we love our boy West Bennett.
Okay.
And the first half of the book, so basically he has to drop out of school because his dad dies. And so this book is like 2 years later. He's back at UCLA as a freshman, and he's also like a baseball legend. Like, I feel like I missed that in the first book, but like he's like a really good baseball player. And it's like in what's her name? Liz is like a completely different person now. She like hates rom-coms, which is like her entire personality, which I get that she went through a bad breakup, but still like that's like such a major switch. But the first book is kind of like there's like a fake dating plot, not with them, but like Liz pretends she's dating someone. But then the second half is like Wes trying to win her back, and I just love it because it's Liz and Wes, and I love them. I like the like Halloween party scene. Like, I'm just, everything Wes says is about Liz. Oh, I'm in love with Wes.
Okay,
Bennett.
I'm actually reading.
So if you're Wes Bennett, please
Where are you?
slide into my DMs. But yeah.
If you're Wes Bennett.
If you like Better in the Movies, I definitely recommend reading it. You might not like it, but it's just, I love them with all my heart. And then this one also people hated, and I don't give a shit. This is The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes.
I think people are just sick of this series or
I don't
whatever.
give a shit. So the Inheritance Game series, but this is like the new spin-off series, where Avery and Jameson host a like annual games where a winner gets a bunch of money, and this is 3-person POV. And I just read this so fast. It's definitely more like games, like there is the games in the first 3 books that they're going through, but this is more, but you also, I don't know, this is more focused on like the actual games, like the clues, which I really like.
Yeah, I like that.
Following along with. And also there's 3 kind of love stories in here, and I kind of ate them all up. I read the reviews and everyone's like, oh, they're forcing it. I'm like, I don't care. I eat it up. Like, I think Rohan and his girl, which I don't want to spoil, and Gigi's was like, is kind of mid, because it's kind of like a love triangle. But then Lyra, like, who is she? We don't know. There's also like so much tea going on. And like, I never know what's going on in any book from these series, but I eat them up. I read this in like 2 nights, and I was like, I need the next book today, because it ends on a cliffhanger. Yeah, so I ate that shit up.
Okay, my first best book. So I started my nonfiction era this year, and I hope to read like more nonfiction books because I actually like listening to them. Like, I don't think I would like sit down with a nonfiction book, but the first one is Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. She's like British, and I like listened to it, and like it was really cool like listening to her like tell her story. Hers wasn't like a super deep memoir, but she kind of tells like the story of her life, and you like learn a lot of lessons about like relationships and friendships and family and like school and careers. So I think it's just a really good book to like listen to or read if you're in your 20s, because I feel like you'll like learn something from it. And it was like cool to hear her voice like with her British accent. Oh, it had like really good like therapy and like mental health representation. And it talked about like, wasn't like not super deep, but there was like some things about like eating disorders and stuff like that. So it was just really interesting to hear her story, and I feel like anyone could learn something like depending on what like category like you're interested in of like the real world.
Nice. Okay, my next best book is A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I bought this in Italy. It's not Italian, but this is the book that makes everyone cry, and I was bawling my eyes out when I read this. Super sad. It's like childhood friends to lovers, but there's one like, but then what happens? Oh yeah, Rune, the guy like goes away and he comes back a completely different person, and then also Poppy has a secret, and it's so beautifully sad and cute. So if you want a cute little pure cry, I have the second book. I have not read it yet because I don't know if I'm in that emotional state yet.
Yeah.
But it was so cute, so pure.
The next one I also listened to is also nonfiction. It was I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. It was really cool to like hear her like tell her story as well. And hers was definitely like a lot more like heartbreaking and emotional, and it's just crazy to like have watched her on like Disney Channel and like not know like anything that's like going on behind the scenes. So like now that like I'm older and I'm listening to her story, like I feel like I can like connect more with her and like feel more like emotions for her, and she just seems more like a real person.
My next book is Today, Tonight, Tomorrow by Rachel and Solomon. I read this on the plane to New York, and I was like low-key crying, and the guy next to me was probably like, the fuck's going on? But basically it's like enemies to lovers / academic rivals to lovers. It's their high school graduation, and they're kind of like academic rivals, like they're fighting for valedictorian, you know. But then there's also this game called Howl, which is like a kind of scavenger hunt game that the senior class does, and they decide to like team up and work together in a game, and they like learn more about each other and fall for each other throughout the game, and it's just really cute. Another kind of more pure one that I just love, and I don't have the second book yet because I think it was only available in hardcover, so I'll get it soon. But really, really cute.
The next one I have is Ignite Me by Tahara Mafi. This is my favorite book in the Shatter Me series so far. I have the last book and the last novella left. The last book might be my favorite, but I feel like it's more of like a 4-star series, but this book I rated 5 stars. This was the third book. So this was originally supposed to be like the end of the series because it was just supposed to be a trilogy, but then she kind of like added on to it. So now we're kind of getting like a different story, but this book, like the action was so good, like the romance was so good, the side characters were so good, and like I can't remember exactly what happened in this book because I'm on like the last book now, but I just remember this is where the story like really picked up, and then it kind of ended nicely, which I liked, and now we have like a new like story. But I just love these characters, and Aaron Warner.
Sorry, her and Aaron Warner.
Another
book boyfriend that everyone loves is in my next book, which is Yours Truly. I read the whole kind of standalone trilogy. Is that what they're called? Standalone series.
Yeah, interconnected standalones.
Yeah, Part of Your World, and
I need to
then
read that.
The Summer Will Be
Yeah.
No, what's the third one? It's Summer. I keep getting This Summer Will Be Different, which is I think a different. Oh, what's it? The Summer one? I can't remember. I'm so sorry. And I loved all of them. They were all
this one's the second.
Yeah, 4 to 5 stars, like in that range. Really good. This one was 5 stars though. This one's the best.
I'm so excited.
And this is the one that everyone loves, and I agree. It's about Jacob, who like he has anxiety, and everyone loves the anxiety rep in this. And then Brianna, who is taking care of her brother. I read this a while ago, so I don't remember. She's taking care of her brother who has like a kidney problem. And they're both doctors at the hospital, and their first impression's kind of bad because he kind of says something or gives off a rude vibe, but he didn't mean to be rude. It's just his anxiety. So he like writes a letter to her, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." And then they write some letters to each other
I love letters.
Throughout the doctors, and then they just become friends kind of first, and then of course they fall for each other. But I really like this because there's also a little bit of a deeper plot to it. All 3 of the books kind of have a deeper plot, but this one had the best one in my opinion. And the third act breakup for this one was so like was not good, obviously, because we don't like when they break up, but it was one that makes sense because it's due to her trauma that she went through in a past relationship kind of, and it just makes sense. And so this one is just beautiful, and I definitely recommend this whole interconnected series, and definitely recommend reading it in order because it makes more sense. But this one's my fave. So good.
My top 3rd book is Turtles All the Way Down, which Mikayla picked out for me, and I read over the summer. And like I really like this book, and I remember it was like easy to read, but I feel like I also like learned a lot. Like I feel like John Green is like something that like you could read at like in like school and like analyze, but like also like it was like quick writing and like easy to understand. And I just thought like the anxiety representation in here was so good and so relatable, and I really liked the characters, and like I really like coming of age books as well, like because they don't feel like super young adult. Like I like when the characters are like growing up and like learning about themselves. So I feel like this book did a really good job of that.
My second, and this is like a kind of loose rating. Like it's not like this is exactly the order I love it in, but this is just like a kind of guesstimate. I didn't think too hard about it. My second book is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, and I read this like during when we picked out books for each other, and it is so good. This is another 3-part interconnected standalone series. And she came out with one each book. So this one has Meet Me at the Lake, and then I think the second one is This Summer will be, or the third one is This Summer will be different. And I know a lot of people liked this one and didn't like the rest of the books. I did. I liked all 3 of them. I do admit the second one's the worst, but it was still a 4-star for me. But I mean, Every Summer After is kind of, I know a lot of people compare it to
Love in Other Words.
Love in Other Words, which I actually liked, but I didn't love it when I read it. But they are the similar plot, like childhood friends to lovers, and then they don't talk to each other for a long period of time, and then they meet up again in the future, and you don't really know what happened between them. So it is that same plot, but everything else about them is different. This one takes place at a lake house or a beach house, whatever, and they're like neighbors, and obviously they fall in love. And then currently it's like the mom's funeral, so they meet up again at the same time. I loved this book. I cried during everything. But this book was really, really good. Definitely recommend it.
My top second book is Book Lovers. This one and Beach Read are both 5 stars for me, but I didn't read Beach Read this year.
Yeah.
But like this book is so good. Like this is like probably like my top like romance book. Like I still think about these characters. It's like enemies, like kind of like more like I feel like more like rivals lovers, which is like my favorite. They're both is it publishers? Is that what they're called? Or agents? Like they're in like the book field. But they go and oh my god, like the sisterhood in this book too is so good. So like they're sisters, and like they're like grieving like their mom, and they have like a bucket list kind of thing, and they go to a small town in North Carolina, and this guy is from there, her like rival. And like, oh my god. And then like I feel like they're just like romance is so like passionate because they like don't want to be together, but then and like just the small town vibes, and like everyone kind of knows everything, and like everyone knows each other.
Just for the summer, sorry. That's the Abby Jimenez. just for the summer, and this summer will be different. I always get them confused. Okay, go ahead.
Now I lost my train of thought. But love Nora and Charlie. They have my heart. I like obsessed with them.
Me with Lizzie. Yes.
No, like it's so good. This book is perfect.
Now for my top book of the year. This is probably my top book of the year. And it is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I know this book got a lot of hype earlier in the year, and for good reasons. It's so good. The 7-Year Slip, all of her books have magical realism that aren't really explained, which is like the one thing that in my head I'm like, what? This doesn't really make sense. But putting my scientific brain aside, basically she inherits her late aunt's apartment that she like grew up with, and her aunt was always like, oh my gosh, it's magical, and she's like, haha, so funny. And then one day she comes back from work, and it's somehow 7 years in the future or past, and this guy, I always forget he has a weird name. They both have. It's like Ewall or some shit. I don't remember. His name's not even on the back.
Fake.
Whatever. So he's renting the apartment from her aunt when her aunt was alive, and so they like are staying together, but it's 7 years in the past, but she's like her current age. So again, the magical system is just weird, and through the past she like makes a connection with this guy, but she's like, well, it's not real really because he's in the past. But then also she meets him currently because he is a chef at, I don't know if that's a spoiler, I don't like him.
I need to read this.
A chef at the restaurant that she's writing about, I think. And I don't even remember why this book was so good, but it was just really, really good. I love the relationship.
Another book.
I think about the one scene. Oh man, I don't want to spoil it, but I'm gonna spoil it. There's this one scene where she like,
I want to read it.
has a hickey on her, and he's like, oh wow. And she was like, well, that was from you. And because like the night that they hooked up in the past
Oh.
was like her current. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And yeah,
Okay.
so I think about that all the time. Like,
Tea.
yeah, this one's really good. And they like wonder if like they can make it in the future. Okay, I don't know.
That's really cute. Okay, I'm
Sorry,
reading
it was
that.
really good.
On my top book, Memo Demo, A Court of Silver Flames. This is the last book that's out right now in the ACOTAR series, and it follows Nesta. And in like the beginning of this series, you don't really like her. She's like the main girl's older sister. But during the third book, she became my favorite character, and I was like so excited for her story. And in this book, particularly, like, since you know everyone, like, the found family is really good, the relationship's really good. They're like fairies, so there's this thing like called mate. So just like the relationship like feels so strong because like there's like the mating bond that like they're like tied together by. And then like the action was really good in this. The friendships were really good in this. She makes two like other like girlfriends, and they like have this little group, and it was just really nice to see because like she's been like kind of like standoffish like in the other books, and like I'm happy to see her like flourish. And like in the beginning she's like kind of like in a rut, and like so then like she's taken on this journey to like better herself, and like she definitely does. So I feel like just like the character, like her character development, and like the found family and the friendships and like the romance and the action, like it was just all like so good. So I love this book.
Yay! And those were our 2024 hits and misses books. Hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely look, if you ever are interested in reading any of our 5-star reads, definitely go pick those up. But yeah, that's all.
Zapatos!